Welcome back to Heart, the story of us. Today our guest is Tshewang Rinzin, who is an engineer as well as a MARA agent and a former union worker. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Fonse. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
And now, you've, as I just mentioned, you're an engineer, a MARA agent, and also a former union worker. You've got a very interesting journey coming to Australia, having come directly as a permanent resident, I believe.
Yep. Yes.
Do you mind telling us a little bit about your journey to Australia and how it all started?
Yeah, I think I think everyone has their own journey, right? So, and mine is also nothing unique, but it's a different journey of my own. I came to Australia as a PR on through since I was an engineer, so I was able to get a permanent PR 189 visa to directly come to Australia with my family. I moved into Australia in 2018, and then after that. Yes, it was not easy, right?
Yeah.
When you come to Australia, it's not easy. Like anyone else, there were a lot of struggles getting used to maybe living a very high-paying job, then a good-paying job, I would say, and at the same time having a good job and living everything, settling all over again in Australia, despite being PR. The cultural shocked, have to go through the all looking for a job, getting refused for us, even for a cleaning job in Australia to start with. It was not an easy job, but as you go on, you have to keep your eyes open.
Exactly.
You have to get connected with the people. Yes, here I am today.
Yeah.
I work in the union, then as also I was one time the president of the Association of Bhutanese in Perth as well, and now yes, I recently started working as a registered migration agent for my consultancy firm here in Australia.
Interesting. And before I think we mentioned the union, which is I think not many people are aware of it.
Yep.
But then when you say union, it's very vague, Miva.
Yeah.
But do you mind telling us about the union you worked for and essentially the benefits and the services that they provide? Because I'm sure it will benefit a lot of Bhutanese who sometimes at workplaces now they're unfairly treated, unfairly dismissed more from work, maybe not paid the right amount, the minimums, and because they're coming from an international background, Australians find that they're easy to target in the way where you can increase their profit margin in an illegal way. But since they're unaware of it, do you mind providing us with some information about how the union is beneficial to those people?
Yeah, surely. Because I work in United Workers Union for 4 years. Definitely today I'm not representing as an employee of the union, definitely. But I would like to share my views as a part of the ex-employee of the United Workers Union. Yes, I think as you know, like when you come from other countries and when your English is not very good in the beginning, but I'm not telling all people don't have good English, but when you come from an international background on visas, you become very vulnerable, right?
Exactly.
So, and when you are very vulnerable, yes, I think exploitation, not paying correct wages, and unfair dismissals, as you clearly said, at the same time bullying, these things are very imminent, right? So that's why I think as a union, so it's very important as a union, it gives you a personal support because let's ask ourselves, do you know all the Australian laws? Do you know what the enterprise bargaining agreement is?
Exactly.
Do you know how the salary negotiation is done in Australia? Do you know what are your rights at work? Because in Australia, doesn't matter whether you are a PR, whether you're a citizen or you're a people on visas, you have equal rights as any Australian here.
Exactly.
But do you know that you have the equal rights at? A lot of people
I'm
don't
sure
know that,
exactly
right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think then, and the other question is, are you able to keep your bosses happy all the time?
Impossible, right?
Yeah. So that's why like you end up like, oh my God, like you end up getting unfairly dismissed. So that's why I think the union come into picture. But generally speaking, people have different perception about union from where we come from. Because when we were in Bhutan, for instance, when I was studying in India, we knew union like burning cars and all these things, but this is not actually the union in Australia because they are the ones who genuinely support workers for their fair representation, for fair pay, and at the same time personal support. If you are into trouble and if you're a member of a union, then they are able to support you going into disciplinary meetings, giving you advice. If you get a big disciplinary letter, then if you're a union member, so then the union organizers will be able to help you respond to that technically correct, lawfully, as per the law as well, and in the correct technical terms as well. And even in the negotiation point of view, if, it's all about the number game again, right? If all people become union members, then you are able to negotiate for better pay and conditions, right? Because imagine you walking to a manager and demanding, I want 30% of the pay. Do you think your manager will agree to that?
Exactly
But
right.
if five people go and start negotiating, she might maybe start looking at you. If all the employees go together, come together and start negotiating,
You have
and
no
you get a
option.
better favor,
Exactly.
right?
That was
So
it.
these are only possible because there should be someone who is coordinating this and try to bring the workers together, try to negotiate. It's all about the power game because all your managers want what is the object, what is the kind of KPI of the managers is to save costs, right?
Exactly.
They'll always try their best because they get more bonuses at the end of the year if they're able to save more money.
Exactly.
Then how can they do that? It's cutting people, cutting hours. But as a worker, you want maximum hours, right?
Exactly.
So that's the thing, right? So that's why I think it's shifting the power balance as well to make sure that the power is not only on the management side too much, not on the worker side. We are reasonable. I think we as a workers, when you come to me, try to be reasonable and at the same time technically correct as per the law, as per the code of the conduct. So this is how the union kind of able to make differences to the life of the workers. But me as a union worker for 4 years, I really feel that union can really help because when you come from outside, you are hardly aware of what the rules are, how your rights are. Then at least you need leaning back where you can lean to someone and seek the right advices.
Yeah.
And also like you want someone to support you going to those meetings if you're not sure of. So that's why I think I genuinely feel that when I was in the union, I was able to help so many people and I was able to save so many jobs for a lot of our Bhutanese
Yeah.
community members.
And it was United Workers Union, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And
It's one of the largest.
Yeah,
union in
I
Australia.
just read about it, and then it said it is the largest union for blue collar jobs,
Yep, that's true.
and I believe majority of Bhutanese. So I don't mean this disrespectfully because obviously blue collar jobs are very well paid jobs in Australia.
Yep.
Maybe in Bhutan it's viewed differently, but in Australia, blue collared, white collared, same. But then blue collared probably makes more money than white collared,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But that being that, Bhutanese work, majority of Bhutanese working in that field. For them to benefit from this union, how can they gain access to it, and perhaps what are the other benefits that come with it besides just helping maybe because right now we've just talked about conflicts, right?
Yep.
So obviously you're not going to always have conflicts, but
Yeah.
some people are going to be like, oh, maybe nga lana build my conflicts so michi me, so I go bindu. But then again, are there any other loopholes where this union
Yes, I
can
think
cover?
at some point of time, my thinking is people will anyway need the union. So because there are different stages, you might need the union because when you join in, so like you want to know about what are the there's something called enterprise bargaining agreement. Back home we call it service agreement, right? So you want to know more about what are the terms and conditions of the service agreement in detail. So union organizers will be able to help you that. To have access to the union when you actually join any organization, sometimes unions comes for inductions because union have access to the inductions. Unions, example, I give a example of aged care. In aged care, I was leading a team of United Workers Union for Western Australia before I resigned and joined as a registered migration agent. And in my team was responsible for aged care companies in Western Australia. Unions have access you just need to give 24 hours notice to the companies, and you can go walk into the lunchroom and meet workers. And we have access to that. We used to
yeah.
visit all the aged care companies and facilities in Western Australia, and then we go and talk to the people and then advocate about the rules and regulation, the rules and your rights in Australia. At the same time, the most important thing nowadays the unions able to do is, because in HCare, this HCare company labor agreement, where a lot of Bhutanese and all the HCare, a lot of companies are benefited by getting sponsorship. This is the initiative of the union, for instance.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's an initiative. It was initiated by union, negotiated with the government, and the government has approved that.
Oh, wow.
And now it's benefiting thousands of workers.
Exactly.
And now, do you know what is the criteria for the sponsorship? Like 186 visa, 482 visa. If you're a union member, you get all these informations up to date. And at the union also, like there are, in Australia, I think you might be also not aware, a lot of people are not aware, but if you become a member, you get a free paid training. Your employee must release you to attend union trainings.
Oh, wow.
So such arrangements are there because this is all unions were able to negotiate with the government, with the employers, because to make sure that every worker is respected at workplaces, every worker is paid fairly at workplaces, workers know their rights as well. For these reasons, I think it's very important that this is how the union is able to help for personal reasons. And also, as I said, healthcare industry, for instance, I always give the example of healthcare industries. HK workers' salary was $24.76 in 2023 June.
Yeah.
Today is $34.56.
2 years, $10, right? Increase.
Yeah, it's
wow.
a 40%. It's only possible because HK workers were able to come together,
Exactly.
negotiate with the government, because more people coming together, better negotiations,
Exactly.
right?
It's just a matter of coming together collectively.
Yeah. So look, I think if you're able to increase your pay from $24 to $34, and if you're able to get a lot of information about sponsorship and get sponsorship through union membership, why not?
Exactly.
United
Right.
Workers have like 150,000 members.
Oh, wow.
And they cover 45 industries.
Wow. 45 industries.
Yeah, 150,000 paying members.
Wow.
It's huge, right?
It's massive.
Yes,
So then again, now that you mentioned paying members, I'm sure now there'll be that they'll want to know what's the fee, right? Because that's at the end of the day, it's everything comes for a cost, right?
It seems like today I'm just representing
just as a reminder, he's always not representing them at all.
Yeah.
He gains nothing from this.
Yeah.
So it's definitely just to help inform Bhutanese about that.
It's like, I think at the rate, I think it's like $13 per week, near about $13 per week. But whatever you pay is tax deductible again.
Oh, so it's basically free essentially.
It's like you can claim back as expense in every year. So in a way, like you get your protection and you get a lot of awareness at the same time, a lot of information, free training, support at workplaces. You're able to negotiate better. But me as a ex-union colleague, for our fellow Bhutanese who are watching this podcast today, I suggest you be a member, and then be at the peace of mind. For your car, you do insurance, right? Yeah. For your job, at least have a membership to secure your job.
Exactly, right. So and car insurance is a lot more expensive, more.
Yeah. So even for your car, you are fear of breaking down.
Exactly.
If you lose your job, there's nothing else, right? So that's why I suggest everyone to be a member and have a peace of mind behind, and seek right advices at the right time.
And going into that job, was that after you served as president for ABPI?
Yes, that's correct.
So did you feel that had an influence on you to go into a field?
Definitely, yes, because when I was fairly new when I became the president of the Association of Bhutanese in Perth, that was in 2019 and 20, just during a COVID time, around that, just after the COVID or something around that, I guess. Yes, there is huge influence, because when I started serving as the president of the association, it's all about, you're not able to make a huge difference, right? Because you're working as a volunteer, but you try your best. But how much you can try, because there are around thousands of people, and you're just a volunteer trying to do your part and trying to help as much as possible you can in your limited time, in your limited circumstances. Because like yourself as well, like myself, right? We have a 9-to-5 job, and at the same time, we have to borrow that time to serve the community, do a little bit of a difference. But yes, that mindset has really helped me, and that's why I joined the union as well, because union is also about helping the community, and ABPA is also able to help the community in your own small ways to make small differences, because like at some point of time people need help. My motto in life is, if you're not able to, maybe you might not be able to help people, but at least don't kind of if you like do bad to people. At least
Exactly.
try
Yeah.
to do some good to people.
Exactly.
If you're not able to help, so at least try yourself to do some people and give your best. So that's I think that's why the community mindset from ABPA president to the union was kind of a linkage. I think.
Yeah. I think it's a good transition as well.
It's a transition.
Yeah.
But
And do you feel like you achieved what you wanted to achieve going into the union and then now stepping away from the union? Do you feel satisfied with everything you were able to do and the how you were able to help the community through the union?
yes, I do, because at the end of the day, because I said when I become the president of the Association of Bhutan, Association of Bhutanese in Perth, here in Perth in 2019-20, I just came to Australia, then started, I contested to become a president. Then I was not much aware of what are the rights,
Exactly.
how can I help people in the right way, and like go beyond my knowledge, because union was give me a huge platform, to be honest, because I genuinely felt that I was able to help a lot of our community members, being able to, through advocacy of their work rights, representing them at the workplaces, going to the meetings, negotiating with the employers to get a labor agreement, they can get a sponsorship. And when I look back now, when thousands of workers, Bhutanese workers, are getting sponsored, and when their pay is today like $10, 40% increase in the last 3 years, I genuinely felt that my presence, my small contributions as a part of the union was really satisfactory, because it makes a huge difference, right?
I agree, and I think it's quite common within a lot of cultures, but everyone feels comfortable when there's someone from your own country working for another company.
Yep.
So say if for yourself, I was working in the union, I'm sure Bhutanese felt that you were more approachable, easier to approach.
Yes, that's very true. Because when they come and see me, they feel more comfortable. They are able to share what they have inside, and because as long as I also declared that I maintain confidentiality. Things are confidential. People, as a Bhutanese, maybe I'm more comfortable sharing with you rather than to white Australian here,
Exactly,
right? Because
right.
I'm not a racist, but that's what is
It's
there
just
in
how
our
it is, man, with
mindset,
it.
right? So that's definitely they were able to connect better with us, and they were less hesitant to ask anything, so that to know better about the work rights. And also I think it was a very satisfying journey.
I think it was you kind of played the part of a middleman, very important middleman.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which-
And you won't believe me, because I even attended the first HK strike in the history of Australia in May 2022.
Oh wow.
10 days before the election, with around 1,000 HK workers
From
in
from China or for all over the place?
all over
Oh, wow.
Australia. But
Yeah.
in Perth, there were around 2,000 people in the city.
And you were there as well?
Yeah, I was there. I was the leading man. I was leading the strike, but this strike in Australia is because it is an approved one. We get
Exactly.
it's a very safe one, because in aged care you have to be careful, right? Because if you walk away from the floor, and if the elderly people are left out without your protection, if something happens to you, we become liable.
Exactly.
So then we give notification. We get an approval from the Fair Work Commission to do a strike. We notify the companies, and then we go to a strike. The people walk out from their floors, and we demand. And then how we got these demands. This is how it works in the system. The system is different. It's not like burning cars, and we demand through a structured way, through a proper systematic way, structured way. We come together and bargain for better. When you come together, it's always better.
Exactly, like you said earlier, collectively, right? And that probably had a big part to do with how the sponsorship visas came about as well. More,
yeah, that's true.
Because it's just a strike of 1,000 people, but it's benefited more than just 1,000 people, right?
People, yeah.
So also going back, I quickly want to cover also regarding the sponsorships. Is there like an age limit that people should be aware of? Because I'm sure there's some information that people want to know, and I'm sure they might ask you if they meet you. regarding the age limits and all that. And if you're allowed to mention it now, is there like an age limit for sponsorships, and how to go about with it for some people that are worried?
It works well, right? Now I'm a migration agent. I can talk.
Oh, you can. Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah,
good. It's a good flow, right?
Yeah, good flow. So that's why. But yes, I think there are age limits. But in Australia, in general, I think there are around 5-6 pathways for the skilled migration, right? To be PR. So there are visa subclasses 189. The general skilled migration point tested, as well as other skilled direct the PR pathways, except Dharma. So all the PR pathways is less than 45 years old.
Oh, less than 45.
5 years. You must be less than 45 years old to be eligible for a permanent residency in Australia in general.
Yeah.
Unless it is a regional Dharma thing, the designated area migration, the migration scheme, where you might have some age concessions of 45 to 55.
Yeah.
But that's only one visa. There are among 6 or 7 PR visas.
No, true.
It's all less. You must be less than 45 years old.
Yeah. And
seems like Australia don't want old, people who are age over 45.
Yeah, I think they want young ones, right?
Younger ones and more productive ones. Just logical as well, right?
It's quite logical, I think, especially with everything that's going on. If there's young individuals that are willing to contribute to the community, I'm sure they'll be happy, right?
But that's also the economic strategy of the country. I guess.
Definitely, I think.
But no hard feelings to anyone, the people who are above 45 years old. But at the end of the day, maybe the intent of Australia is because the aging population is the average age of the people are getting higher.
Yeah.
So maybe the main intent is they don't want the migrant with the higher ages like above 45 to come put up their average
exactly that is
which
true.
is impacting the economics.
Exactly, yeah. And we can't really fault them for that, because I'm sure that there's a reasoning behind everything, right?
Yeah, because there's a country's strategy, economic strategy,
right.
And we need to respect that.
Yeah.
And so as a migration agent, we have to comply with that.
Exactly. And that flow worked really well, because I was unsure if I was allowed to ask that, but then now I remembered. You're now you're a registered migration agent, and I believe that's a 1-year course, isn't it?
Yes, you have to, in Australia, I think, to be eligible to become a registered migration agent, you have to do a graduate diploma in migration law for 1 year. Then that's not the end of it. As soon as you become some like trades, occupations, like once you finish the qualification, you are immediately able to practice. But to get a MARA license, you again have to go do a capstone exam, which is kind of a national exam, because it's by the Department of Home Affairs, right?
Yeah.
Because it's understandable, because everyone, you have to even go through an integrated test, police clearance, English language. I've come to Australia and I lived in Australia for 7 years, almost more than 7 years. After that, I have to even do a English test again. That's not PT again. I have to do a IELTS test again and score all 7 above all bands. And at the same time, after finishing a course, doing a capstone again, having a do. I think it is a huge, big. It's not a huge. It's a big journey.
Yeah.
But now I'm here, so anyway, so it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you, I'm guessing after you received your registration, that's when you stepped away from the union. Is that when you stepped away?
I think at the end of the day, so
new venture then.
You have to, things goes on changing, and your priorities change in life, and so you move on, right? So that's why I left the union I think very lately, 2 months ago, and I joined the B5 as a registered migration agent, and now here am I.
Yeah, you are. Yep. So initially you were an engineer, correct? Oh,
yeah. I'm by profession. I'm an electrical engineer. I worked as electrical engineer for 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So 13 years in engineering. Now you've left that in the past, or?
No, not really. Because at the end of the day, so I've studied engineering for 4 years. Now I did practice engineering for 13 years. But yes, I think in some point of time in future, I might be going and doing constructing towers. Back you never know.
if you're still around for GMC.
yeah. Not necessarily GMC, but tower construction, electrical. Yeah, because.
So okay, so 13 years as an engineer, and then 4 years as a union member.
Union, yeah,
So how
union.
long now as a migration agent? How long
Now-
are you gonna? How long? What's your plan for as a migration agent? 4 years, and then you move on to something else, or
I'm thinking, to be very honest, I think in life you have to have your own set targets,
Exactly,
because whatever I have done so far is all planned and structured, and that's why I was able to transition myself from different jobs. Because coming to Australia was also planned, because that's why I came as a PR. Then serving as a president was also planned and discussed with the family. Then you need to discuss with family when you have a wife as well, right? Then going into the union also planned, and now getting into migration is also planned, and I'm looking at 4 years.
in 4 years?
After that, I'm thinking retirement. Won't you believe that?
A retirement already?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I am 45 now.
So by 50 you want to retire?
49, I'm thinking.
But I don't know, because a lot of people want to retire young, but then I feel like when that time comes, they're always like, they stay at home for a couple of days and they're like, oh, something doesn't feel right. Like, because you've been active for that long, your brain's been.
Example, I look back to myself 4 years from now. I look back myself back in Bhutan. So I think maybe back in Bhutan after doing migration, we'll talk more about migration, right? So back to Bhutan after 4 years. But I genuinely feel like early retirement would be worth it, because, Punzo, let me ask you, what do you mean by enough in life?
I don't know. I think everyone has their own definition of it, right?
That's the point. I have my own definition.
Exactly.
And my target is to reach that enough. And I have my own definition of enough. And if you really look at that enough thing, imagine like at the end of the day, I have 2 kids. Kids will be very independent. They'll be in their own world. And me and my wife will be retiring. And how much rice we'll be finishing in a month?
That is true.
25 kilo of rice right, in a month. Yeah. How much it would cost?
That is true.
And multiply by how many years?
Yeah.
Then that's the main. That's how I calculate.
Yeah.
But everyone has a different calculation.
That's true. Yeah.
So based on that, I'm planning my retirement.
So based off rice.
Yeah, that's right.
25 kilos of rice.
Yeah, maybe a better rice. I
think a good point, a good time for you to try might be when the grandkids come around.
I think so. I don't know whether I'll be a good grandfather or not.
Because then you have to pour more money in. So then you can decide how your kids. You've got 2 kids, right?
Yeah, 2 kids.
And they're how old are they?
One is 18 plus and one is 16.
So one's 18 and 16.
18 plus.
18 plus. Oh, 16. Oh, interesting. So they're one's just transitioning into university life.
One is in first year uni and the other one's in year 10.
Year 10. Interesting. And then, so you're planning to retire when they're in their 20s.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, I think it's a good plan.
Don't you like me playing golf after and going to this the holy places, going to a caravan and enjoying life?
I don't know. Right now, I think I'm at an age. I'm at an age where all I'm thinking about is just where am I going to go tonight?
Will you not be envying me doing that?
I think that would be quite nice, honestly. Now that I think about it, maybe I should think about early retirement as well. I haven't even started my career yet.
I don't see a point retiring at the age of 70 and you're not barely able to walk.
That's true. That is true.
After retirement, I should be able to do something, and maybe I can work in the NGO for 2 days in a week back in Bhutan.
Do some community service.
Community service,
exactly.
Yeah. Because then you're not bored and you're able to contribute bit by bit, right? So,
exactly. But I think the definition of enough changes as time passes, as you age, right? So I think my definition.
You see my hair is turning grey, right?
I think more than the hair is turning grey. What's quite common amongst us Bhutanese is this starts going back.
Yeah, that's true. See, mine is going up, yeah.
I was in the mirror this morning. I looked at it. I was like, okay, I'll put my hair forward.
Yeah, okay, compared to me. Yeah.
But so now that we talk about that, let's talk about your family and your wife. How did they influence your decision of leaving a very well-respected job in Bhutan where you served for 13 years more? And if you had stayed, you'd be up to maybe you'd be nearing 20 over 20 years in service, right? Because you've been here for how long? 8 years?
8 years,
so 6 years?
8 years.
2019, right? You said so?
2018.
2018.
7 years.
7 years, approaching 8.
Yep.
So you'd be approaching basically or reached 2 decades serving for for the government or
I was
private
working
sector?
for Bhutan Power Corporation.
Private sector, correct?
It's a corporate sector.
Or corporate sector.
Yeah.
And having left that to come here, where you mentioned how you even struggled to find cleaning jobs, did you find that experience to be humbling in a way, or did you ever feel like maybe you made the wrong choice, wrong decision to come and move here?
I think once you have made a decision, there's nothing called wrong decision, because when me and my wife together made that decision to move to Australia for a change and to explore something different, that was a decision made, and I think that was the right decision we made, right? Because at that, considering all the situation, but once your decision is being made, you have to live with it, and you have to learn to live with it, right? So, but yes, I think the transition was challenging and depressive. I would say it was very depressive, but at the end of the day, you move on, right? And you
Exactly.
have to learn to move on, and then you start exploring things, reaching out to the right people or getting the right advices, and try to reach out to your friends, send them SMSs. They might not respond because everyone is a busy person,
Exactly.
but at least be persistent, consistent, and reach out to the right people and seek the right advices. Try to reach out to get a right job. Try to start doing a right courses, small courses to get entry into the industry. That's how I have started transition myself.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't regret, because that decision was, I genuinely believe whatever decisions I made, I make it based on the situation and based on the condition. That's an informed decision
Exactly right.
based on that. But if situation changes, you feel the decision is wrong.
Exactly.
That's not true, because you made the decision based on certain facts, certain conditions, and you all made the right decision. But when the situation changes, you feel the wrong decision. But I don't term this as a wrong decision.
Yeah. I think that's a good way of looking at it, because like you mentioned, I think whenever something's going your way, you're like, yeah, that's because of me.
Yeah.
I made the right choice. But then the moment there's a small mishap, you're like, okay,
Yep.
I regret this. But there was something I wanted to talk about, and I had that in my head, but then I
You
veered
wanted
off
to talk
topic.
more about migration, right?
Migration, and now there was something that popped up right now when you mentioned leaving your family and all that. So now it's in my head. A lot of people say, okay, life in Australia is different to Bhutan, where you're working. But then I was thinking about it, right? I've been thinking about it for the last couple of years. I've expressed this to some people, and I'll express it to you now because of all the years you've served in Bhutan, and you've served nearly 10 years here as well, a decade here. When your life in Bhutan, you were working, right? Was that a 9 to 5?
Yes, 9 to 5 job. Later on, I even work for my own company as a contractor.
Exactly. So when you're doing a 9 to 5 here, why do people say life is different in Bhutan when essentially you're still doing a 9 to 5 in Bhutan, but then you're also doing a 9 to 5 here?
Yeah.
What's different?
I think, honestly speaking, because here is more of we have daily targets, we have weekly targets, and we have monthly targets, because the yearly targets is broken down into monthly targets are broken down to weekly targets are broken down into daily and hourly targets, and you have to meet those objectives on a daily basis. There are people constantly monitoring, and I think that we are doing work more objectively here. And because that, I think back in Bhutan, that nitty-gritty breakdown is not being done. I think our work is more generic. You're given a more generic task, and that generic task is being shared by more generic tasks, and then each individual kind of do not have specific targets to be met, and there's not much of a follow-up process. There are follow-up processes, but not structured as here, because here, imagine like every week you'll be a team. I was one of the team lead for WA. I have to attend a management meeting every week and report to the management about where are we as a team, and what went right, what went wrong, and then I go back and discuss with my team members on a daily basis how we are doing, what we have to make the corrections to meet the weekly targets. So when you have so much of a targets to be met, people feel that is more stressful.
Yep.
And then back in Bhutan, maybe you are more relaxed because you don't have that target broken down into weekly, daily, monthly. So I generally feel that could be the difference of how we objectively
That is
structure
true.
our works.
But then,
This could be a part. I
yeah,
could be wrong, but this is what I have experienced here.
yeah, that's a fair point. But also, I was also thinking, essentially, what you're saying is, in Australia they have goals and demands to be met, right?
Yep.
But then with that comes a pay that meets that as well, right?
Yep.
All that. So Bhutan, there are people are still working there.
Yes.
So why are they saying when why is the general perception Australia job at labini? Because do get up there labi go women
Yes, yes. I think generally speaking, it could be the pay gap.
pay up.
Pay gap, because Nalutame, because example, tradies, a bricklayer, they earn $120 an hour.
Exactly right.
A person sitting in the office earns $30 an hour. Because then electrician earns $70 an hour, for instance. But look at in Bhutan, tradie electrician might be earning like 15,000 hour ngeltam, and a CEO sitting in the office might be earning 300,000. Can you see the difference?
Exactly right.
So nalu difference comes in minum.
Yeah.
So I think my understanding is there's so much of a difference. This is my perception. I could be wrong. I'm not generalizing anything. But how can in the same economy, how can someone earn 300,000 per day when someone is surviving with 300,000? That means 3 lakhs per month or 4 lakhs 50 per month. I saw a CEO vacancy where people were paid 450,000 in Bhutan per month. Unfortunately, a cleaner lady who is also working equally hard is paid 9,000
Wow.
per week, per month. Difference between 900, don't you feel that 9,000 and 450 is too much?
It's far too much. It's far
Maybe
too
there
much.
should be a balancing thing that has to be done, I think, because this is, I think maybe I'm talking from a union perspective to bring the fairness, but that mindset has to be there at some point of time.
And I definitely agree, and that's why I wanted to ask you as well, because of you come from a very well educated background, and also the things you've done in Australia as well. You've worked with the union, with the association, because the general perception of people is very negative when they talk about Australia. I think maybe about 10, 15 years ago it was to study, to gain a brighter future for your family, for yourself. But then now it's just like, oh, Australia labi wa journey. But then if you think about Australia labi wa George, and your brain is constantly stimulated. You're constantly thinking about what to do next, how to get about. And the last episode I had cooking with Manchuk again.
Yeah.
거기야 Bhutan you just thought, oh, desk la chibedini. And then now kitchen la bishmne. You realize you like that chaos over there. So the chaos can good too. And then he realized he was struggling to do paperwork to do your business no more. But that's a more pizza. So you can see how engaged your brain gets once you get to Australia. But then the general perception I feel is so negative about coming here. It's like, kauche. So people need to do Bhutanle omdara kutanara ngachi kauche judo same way. Not we're going there to start a bright future.
True.
It's like saying we're going there in darkness, hoping for brightness.
Yeah.
When it should be, okay, we're going for a brighter future. Directly, you start off with a positive mindset.
Yep.
And then you go from there on.
That's true. I think I'll put into a migration perspective here as well, Funso, because machi ani generalized mamra ani bime, but in generalized pen but in majority I would say machi we come here to study. Then the next target they look at TR. We call it TR, right? Because post-study work stream, after finishing studies, you get work visa. Then when a lot of Bhutanese were not able to get that, everybody was so disappointed. And there's so much of hue and cry. But Nachigi thought process actually changed because that's why I think we as a migration agent come into picture. When you come to Australia, you do a course for a purpose. Is it for your future career enhancement? Is it for the skill enhancement? I think either of the course should contribute to either skill enhancement or your overall capacity development. Then beyond that, when you are doing a course, that is the opportunity to connect with people in your field. Go to the coffee networks, go and meet your professors, go and attend some seminars. That's when you connect people. And because when you are in TR, that's where post-study work stream, you get 3 years, right? Some people get 2 years, some people get 3 years. 3 years is a lot of time, Punsa.
Exactly.
Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I agree.
It is a lot of time. And if you want to do a short course of 1 year, do it. Enhance your skill. Put your foot in the industry where you would like to work. And explore an option between any Gadebe job message. If you don't have any plans, first you study, then go into the TR, next what? Get back to the studies. That means whatever you have worked, slog so hard to and earn a little bit of a money, again you put back in your
exactly
fees.
Right.
It's a circle. At least when you come here, try to get a right advice, reach out to the right people, discuss with your consultants, reach out to the migration agent, and explore what skills I have back in Bhutan. Can I do a skill assessment? Can I transition into, can I transition into any PR opportunities, permanent residency opportunities through skill migration? If I don't have that, how can me and wife sit together and at least explore options to make these options available to us? Maybe if you started reaching out to right people during a networking sessions through your network, to your friends, then reaching out to migration agents, plan your future here. In 2 years is a lot of time. Then 3 years PR time is, you have 5 years here.
Exactly.
In 5 years, you can do whatever you want to do. And then secure your PR. Then you decide how long you want to stay in Australia. Maybe then I want to get my skilled job, get my PR, finish my children's education, maybe 6 years, 5 years like myself, 7 years. Then you start planning back and leave back home, because then you'll be able to transition yourself. If you don't plan, then what happens? Study, TR, after TR nothing, then you have to go back. Then some people don't have TR, then some people might be going back. They might have so many options. They might have missed so many opportunities because you have never explore or exhausted your options, exhausted these discussions. So my suggestion to the people who have not, who are coming from Bhutan or who are already here, is reach out to the right people. If you are able to discuss with your spouses, discuss with them, discuss with your friends, reach out to the right people, explore all the options, reach out to the migration consultants like us, register migration with us, and then exhaust your options. Their job is to, they know a lot of, like us, we know a lot of migration laws, regulations, industry, and we also know what are the skills in demand. We'll be able to match, right? And explore options. The decision is theirs, but we'll be able to match. These are the few things I would suggest. What do you feel about it?
I think you're spot on with that, because a lot of Bhutanese, like you said, go through that exact same circle where, okay, you come to study and they're like, oh, Kimi, dotto de labini, tiarne heb dat, dotto de pesta, dat tiarne heb jin labini. And then tiarne labe, tiars when you rem the jamji, they're like, da kachibeni.
Tiarne so
that pesha tat kungremindu, tabremindo, tabremindo. And then, like you said, it's going straight back to the government, to the organizations, the universities, and all that. Sure, they get money, but then it's money that they don't need if you do it correctly, remember? And also going back to that point, what do you call about regarding migration agents? So a lot of Bhutanese, I've noticed amongst the Bhutanese communities, Chinese whispers is quite popular, remember there?
Yeah.
That any consultancy can never love there, any consultancy can love there. But the regime beta which the any consultancy the migration agent know what there. Generally, and then what happens is, okay, because this consultancy said this, I'll tell my friend that they said that. So then, because this one seeked help from one consultancy without a migration agent, then they will tell their friends that detail, and then those group of friends, they won't actually go anywhere to explore more. So to get that habit out of them, what are some of the perks of a registered migration agent like yourself? What perks do you guys bring, and how reliable is the information that you provide? How reliable is the information that you're able to give them, as well as because you're legally registered, what are the risks? Like, what risks are minimized from gaining advice from you guys instead of a consultancy who say that they know everything that you know, but they're not registered?
Yes, I think there are a lot of differences. And yes, I think there are two, as you said, you clearly mentioned, there are two categories. A lot of people wanted to do it yourself because in the name of saving few dollars, I think a lot of people prefer to do it themselves. But at the end of the day, registered migrations are like any professionals. They are professionals and they are being registered with Department of Home Affairs, but they are not an employee of Home Affairs or they are not the agent of Home Affairs, but they are independent licensed entities from Home Affairs. And as a registered migration agent, you have to update your knowledge on a yearly basis to keep your registration active, because immigration laws are very dynamic, right? It goes on changing, governments keep on coming, and based on the situation, but the economic situation, migration keeps on changing. So that's why as a registered migration agent, you are up to date. You are up to date with all the immigration laws and even the interpretation of the laws. A layman interpreting a law and me interpreting a law could be different because I'm being taught how to interpret migration laws. So that's why in that situation, imagine like you ask your friend and you get information from your Facebook and you relied on that information and submitted your visa application. And what happens if that information was not up to date? I'll give an example. The IELTS, the PTE score system changed from 7th of August, right? Did you know that?
Yeah.
So you know that because you are in this industry. You are also closely associated in this, working in this industry. But other people, do you think they know that?
No, they probably wouldn't, would they? Because it's very recent.
Because the score requirement after 7th August and before is different.
Exactly, yeah.
How about you have read the news in the newspaper or a telegram or Facebook or some of your friends, you ask your friend who has done a similar visa, and that situation was completely different to yours, and you took that wrong information, old information, outdated information, and put as a part of the visa application. When your visa will be refused, right?
Exactly.
When your visa is refused, it is a nightmare, right? Firstly, you have paid a huge amount of money as a visa application charges, 2 year charges, like minimum of $5,000 to $8,000, and then visa refuse. The stress start again. And you will tell that, oh, I'll appeal to the administrative review tribunal. But the review process to open a file, it takes almost a year.
Yeah, that's true.
And this also like $6,000. The consultancy fees plus again. You have to have a consultancy. I don't think anybody will be able to go to the administrative review tribunal by yourself. So that's why, like, instead of saving like $450 or $300, you did yourself. And other could be like police clearance, for instance. Then if you submitted a wrong police clearance, instead of putting an Australian federal police clearance, you put a national police clearance, your visa will be refused.
And then you have to go to the
Small
whole thing
things,
again. Yeah.
But it could impact your whole life of your family. I don't think it's worth taking those risks, because reach out to the professionals, because that person serves as a second person, giving a second eye to your documents as well to make sure everything is right. But at the end of the day, there's nothing to be worried about, because migration agents are supposed to be up to date with the law. They have their own code of conduct. They can't cheat you. They have to update all the progress with you. They are bound to work the best interest of you as well. We are bound to work the best interest of the client. I can't do my own work as whim and fancy of myself. So that's why I think that's the differences. Are you willing to take those risks, or you rely on a professional who is working in the industry? And because that person has been doing the same thing again and again. But in Australia, a lot of people are very busy, right? You have work stress, you have a uni stress, you have your family, and some people do double overtime works, and you might miss deadlines.
Exactly, that's true.
How come like you're too busy, and by the time you realize, unfortunately, I met one of my clients, unfortunately, I can't name anywhere, but he missed to pay the fees he missed the deadline for his fees for the 4th semester.
Yeah.
You know what happened? He had to then, his CO get cancelled and he has to apply to another college.
Oh no.
His visa got refused.
Oh, that's a hassle.
Then if there was a consultant, then there
Yeah.
could be having some possibilities. Notification could come to the consultant because the authorized agent receives all the communication. Then they keep up, inform the client immediately, and they were able to. They would have saved him
Definitely.
because then he missed that 3 years post-study work visa again.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Now instead of that, he now going to the he has to appeal to the ART, paying $6,000.
Yeah, wow. It's a bit of a hassle.
Yeah, these things happen, right? Because at the end of the day, it's always important that not only in migration but anywhere, always reach out to the professionals and try to trust the professionals.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And I think besides that, we've covered everything that we wanted to cover initially, and even more than that. And it's been a great pleasure having you here. Oh, very educated, very wise man that I think a lot of people should look up to. Well, and especially with O's journey, leaving behind a very very good job that he had back in Bhutan, coming here, starting from scratch. Like O just mentioned, nearly going into that depressive state, not being able to get blue collar jobs, and then from there on, accepting that that's how life is, progressing, and then working for representing the Bhutanese initially, and then transitioning into helping the Bhutanese and all the Bhutanese involved in those sectors, and then now as a migration agent for your own for your own business as well. So congratulations for the journey you've had, and
Thank you so much.
thank you very much for joining us on Heart to Heart today. It's been a pleasure, Ho Tshewang. Thank you very
My
much.
pleasure. Thank you for Pinso.
Thank you.
Pinso, for having me here today.
Thank you very much. I think, and that wraps up this episode of Heart to Heart. Thank you very much, guys.